Hey guys, this is the AMP podcast, season 2, episode 2. I'm Justin Humphreys. I'm here with the Doctor of Real Estate, Mark D'Andrea.
Good morning, sir.
And we've got some special guests with us today. One of our other co-leaders of the AMP team, one of our leaders, Sheila Howell, is in the building today.
Hey.
We also have one of our AMP agents, Joe Wood, with us. Hi, Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning, Woody.
Good morning.
It's been a very fun morning since we've been here at the studio. Everybody's been having their own scrambled issues going on, but it's great. I love the excitement, love the chaos, and thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you guys for listening. Everybody out there that's watching us. How's our morning going so far?
It's another day in real estate. It's another day that we are connected to folks, and it's another day where you have a foot in chaos and a foot in order. I mean, you got one foot in each. You got to just keep it together. It's fun. We're having some fun this morning.
It is fun. You know, I did a live video on the way here talking about the chaos and how that can be exciting and fun when you're a small business owner and a self-employed and an entrepreneur. So that's all good stuff.
You were having printing issues,
phone issues, email issues. I think a lot of that is just, I should have done that stuff before I went to bed last night.
Well, there you go.
Instead of procrastinating.
Lesson learned.
Absolutely.
So welcome to the AMP podcast.
Yeah, the AMP podcast, season 2, episode 2. I'm calling this episode the swing of things because I feel like for season 2, we're getting back into the swing of things. The market's getting into the swing of things. We're full blown into our spring and kind of creeping into our summer market now. So we're happy to have you guys here. Real quickly, we want to mention the sponsors of the AMP podcast, our friends and partners. We're going to mention Vault Title. Vault Title is our in-house title company at Red One Realty. The ladies there do a great job. Nicole, Carly, Danielle, Alicia, Sally,
Paul.
I hope we didn't miss anybody.
Paul actually called me this morning just before starting this podcast. That is how all over it. It's for a closing this happening at noon. Mm-hmm. He's calling me to follow up. These guys are all over it. So we love Vault Title.
Vault Title is one of our proud sponsors. We're happy to have them. We're also sponsored by Right Way Roofing. Our friend Brian Moore runs and owns and operates Right Way Roofing. They do a great job. So if you have any roofing needs here in Central Ohio, reach out to Right Way Roofing. And last but not least, Red One Realty. Mark, what do we have to say about Red One Realty?
Red One Realty started in 2019. Mike Hall, Ken Fairchild, Bob Petty, and Michelle Brooks are our brokers. It is an incredible brokerage that provides not only low fees, but outstanding support. So I've been in real estate for 32 years, and I've found a home here at Red One. So we're tickled to death to have Red One as our sponsor.
Absolutely. Thank you to our sponsors. We're going to talk more about them. And we're going to use this opening segment here to talk to our guests, Sheila and Joe. We want to hear, obviously we're all very familiar with each other, but the people watching, we want to highlight you guys and talk about your stories a little bit. So would either of you like to go first? We'd love to hear, Mark and I know this story, but the people at home would love to hear how you guys got into real estate, how you got introduced to AMP or into Red One in general. So,
Oh, sure. I'll go. So Sheila Howell, I have been an agent for just about 2 years now. I have spent many, many years, more years than I care to admit, in corporate marketing. And I had an opportunity to take a buyout in 2020. And I thought, I'm just going to retire. There's no reason to continue to work. But my brain does not work like that. So I was very discontent. My husband told me one day that I was not his manager, which told me I needed to find another way, something else to do. So I went back to work for a while in marketing and decided this, I've already made the cut. It was no longer something that I was passionate about. Mm-hmm. So my son happened to be an agent. He's like, Mom, just try it. Just start taking the test or studying for the test. So I did. And as I was starting to study for it, I'm like, this is a lot like what I do in corporate. It's project management, it's contracts, it's negotiation, it's all those things that I've spent years doing. So I'm like, okay, I think I can get behind this. And then the fun part of working with clients and getting them into a home or helping someone sell their home and get the best deal out of it, that's where, it really became a passion. And as far as Red One, my son was with Red One. He, was all about the low fees, which is awesome. And starting out, that was the thing, because I didn't know if I was going to be a success or not. So, it was definitely appealing from that. And then as soon as I passed, did my boot camp with Red One. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I know all
that now what question
yeah,
comes up, right?
all the contract stuff, I knew that, but like, how do you run a business? And this is our business. So that's where I had a conversation with Mark, who told me I should talk to Dana because she and I are a lot alike. So I had a conversation with Dana, and it was very quick. The AMP was, where I wanted to really, build my business with the AMP platform.
I have a question. You were passionate, and you still are, about marketing. What drove you to your passion for real estate? I know that your son was in the business, so I get that piece of it. But can you think back in your life and think about where some of those sparks might have come from? I mean, you came out of marketing, other than your son being in the business. Why real estate?
So as a homeowner, I realize how important it is, homeowning as part of building equity and your financial stability. And then luckily we were able to buy some investment homes, during our marriage, and they both paid off really well. So, from an equity perspective, I saw that there's huge value for people to be a homeowner or potentially investor.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, that's great.
Find something you're passionate about.
Yeah, passionate about. And a lot of those skills and experiences that you had from your previous job just carried right over, and you're able to pick those up and run with them.
Yeah, very transferable skills.
Yeah, that's awesome. That I learned something new. I didn't know that your son was in real estate. I didn't know he was with Red One, and I didn't know that's how you were introduced. So I'm glad we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Woody.
Yes.
Woody's classic cars. Woody has
Woody's hot rods.
Yeah, Woody's hot rods. Please forgive me. Woody and I have a similar passion in classic cars. So, Woody, what's your story? Where did all this begin for
So,
you?
I was in the automotive business for 31, 32 years. And when it started, it was a relationship type business. And met a lot of people, made a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, relationships. And as the automotive business went along, started to lose that relationship type business, where it became mostly just input.
It was more transactional.
Yeah, more transactional. I started to lose the relationship part of it, where all of these guys that call in, and next thing you know, it's just all coming through your computer, and you type it back, and you don't really get to talk to people and have the relationships anymore. So I decided to retire from the automotive business. Flipped a couple houses, did pretty well with that. I thought, I'm interested in real estate. I didn't know how to get started in it. And I don't know, it was there in the back of my mind.
Sure.
So one day, Dana Kitchen,
Dana's a common
Yeah.
theme here in the
Yes.
thread, isn't
she stopped by, and I knew that she was a realtor, and we were just talking, and I started asking her, well, how's it going? And I'm with Red One. It's really great. And just kind of fill me in on how everything worked, and the light bulb just turned on in my head.
Sure.
I need to do that.
Hmm.
That night, I signed up for schooling, set up my email. I started class probably not even 2 weeks later. Right before that, I came in and met with Mark, and I knew that Red One, that's where I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to be an AMP, because I didn't know what to do, and I
Yep.
knew that AMP would help me get started,
Hmm.
and it just seemed like a great fit. So I already knew where I was going, I blasted out the schooling in like 3 weeks. About another week and a half, I got my license and came in, did boot camp, and just off and running.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, and that's
Good for
great.
you.
And Joe, you're one of the AMP agents that, has picked up the business, found a couple of those skills that we train on that fit you and you're comfortable with, and you've deployed those and done a great job. And you're always a pleasure to be around and a pleasure to chat with. And
Thank you.
Mark said it, the classic car thing is, what I heard you talking about was that the social aspect of the car business had kind of gone away. And that's a big part of the car culture, right? Is
Yes.
that social atmosphere of the talking about the ins and outs of the engines. And I know you guys love to chat about that
Yes.
stuff anytime you're together. So
Favorite engine? Favorite?
Oh, favorite engine.
Yeah.
Well, we're just gonna go with the Chevy 283, small but mighty.
Yeah. 428 Super Cobra Jet.
There you go.
mine would just be the 5.3 Chevy, whatever's in the Yukon. It's like a 5.3. I don't know. You tell me. I'm
Yeah,
not
the
sure.
LS engine. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very versatile.
All the LSs are cool.
And Sheila, you have a very nice car too. I love your Infinity Coupe. I think that's a very sharp car. Every time I pull up, I admire it. So your car's cooler than mine.
Daniel, what do you drive?
I'm the EV guy, so
Yes.
the Ford Lightning.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah,
Ooh, I bet that thing is quick.
it is fast. It's way too fast for a pickup truck.
Absolutely.
So
That's the Lightning. That's like the F-150, but
Yep.
it's an electric vehicle.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Love
Guys, for those of you might not be able to see him, Daniel's our off-camera producer today, so we're going to be getting him involved in the podcast periodically. He's going to act as our liaison to the outside world, the common man, if you will. If we're talking, Dan, if we get too deep into intricate real estate stuff, we'd love if you pipe up and
keep you in check.
yeah,
Yeah.
and ask like, hey, what's that? Or what's
Sure.
this? So
Sure, got it.
we'll look forward to that. Awesome. Well, a little bit of an intro for Sheila, an intro for Joe. They're probably going to be joining us a lot throughout the season, and you've heard them. We've shouted out Joe and Sheila on the podcast before. So, do we want to go around real quick and just give our contact information? Mark, where can the people find
Sure.
you?
Mark D'Andrea, the Doctor of Real Estate with Red One Realty. You can reach me at 614-395-6275. And my email is doctorofrealestate1@gmail.com.
Sheila?
Yeah, Sheila Howell on social. It's Realtor Sheila Howell. And my email is sheila@realtorsheilahowell.com.
And how about you, Joe?
Joe Wood, Homes by Woody. My email is joewoodrealtor@gmail.com. And my phone number is 614-886-1000.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to jump into our next segment, which is the AMP Action Plan. This is going to be where we talk about 1 or 2 actionable tips that AMP agents can employ to improve their business. And Joe, I'm going to start with you. So
Sure.
when we were talking about this, you had mentioned direct messaging as one of the AMP action plans that you'd like to highlight. What is it about direct messaging that you love so much, Joe?
Direct messaging puts you out in front of people. They start to see more of you on the social media because just the way the algorithm works.
Mm.
The more you message, the more they see you. Keeps you at the top of their mind. They're like, I am a realtor. I can help you with anything home, real estate services. So you keep messaging these people. Not every day, but several times a year. And you can remind them who you are. Then you can ask them if they need anything. They maybe have friends that are looking to buy or sell. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to give them my information, or better yet, give me their information. I'll talk to them. I won't embarrass you. And I've really done most of my business through that, just maintaining these relationships. Back to my automotive business, the
Being connected
relationships,
to people.
these connections I'm building with them. I'm at the top of their mind. They know who I am. They start to see my posts. They start asking questions. We we just keep those relationships going. You're
Mhm.
always at the top of their mind.
Mm.
So if you keep that up, if you do one thing, keep up the messaging with people, your sphere of influence. Um, People buy or sell their home in about every 7 years. And they know people that do the same thing. So the more you keep in touch with them, the more that they have, they're going to refer people to you, and your business is going to flourish. It's going to snowball from there.
Yeah, and the direct messaging is something we train on a lot. It's something that I learned from him. I never did it before I joined AMP,
Mhm.
and I felt uncomfortable when I started doing it. Mark provided a great script, and I think that we can all probably say that we've had transactions come out of the direct messaging tool.
I mean,
Definitely.
if you think about it, I mean, all we're doing in real estate is wanting to be of assistance to those that know us and like us, and growing that trust in real estate is the key. So we just want to be of assistance. It's an easy thing to do. You can text somebody, email somebody, direct message somebody, send somebody a letter, call somebody. These are all manifestations of wanting to be of assistance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything home. Joe said it earlier. It's my front license plate. That's a key, Joe. Thanks
Top
for
of
bringing that
mind,
up.
anything
Absolutely.
home.
That's good stuff.
Sheila, do you employ direct messaging at all?
I don't do that very well.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm being challenged by someone over here because, to his point, I have a lot of really strong relationships with people,
Yeah.
and I have been hesitant to do it because I don't want to be a bother. But as Mark said, if I don't do this, the chance that they will use someone that is less qualified than me is really high, which is actually hurting them because I know what I bring to the table and how hard I work for my clients. So by me not putting myself out there and reminding people that I'm there and I'm a resource for them, whether it be a transaction or anything home, to Mark's point, that's a huge disservice that I'm doing for my sphere. So I'm actually working really hard to start to implement that.
That's a great way to flip that and think about it in a way that puts the pressure back on you to, be there to provide the best service, because you want them to get the best service.
I do. Yes.
And I had similar feeling. Like I said, it was awkward for me when I first started sending the direct messages. Now it's part of the routine. But it does feel awkward, but the just to be of assistance and that anything home piece, it's not hounding them about, hey, can I sell your house or this or that. It's
Has nothing to do with the transaction.
yeah. Do you need anything? If you ever need a contractor, if you never need a
Right.
preferred vendor, I've got you covered. Anything home. So
How about how you doing?
yeah,
How's your
that's
day
a good
going?
one too.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of the ones I've done is like people I went to high school with. I maybe haven't talked to them in 14 or 15 years, and direct message out of the blue, and they say, hey, by the way,
Sure.
sure, yeah, we are getting ready to sell.
Mine's more like a quarter of a decade.
I've got you all beat. So we don't need to go there. What are your thoughts on what you would advise somebody to deploy as a good marketing tool?
A time blocking. So
Mm.
for it's so easy to get distracted
Mm.
and do either the fun things, stay in your comfort zone. That unless you're time blocking and making sure you have time for those important items, it's easy for it, a month, 2 months to go by and not have the progress made on these things. So, we did a training on the 12-week year. That's something that I use in my life and have for quite a while. And it really does. You think about that big goal. What do you want to accomplish in 3-4 months?
Mm.
You write it down and you work really hard towards getting it. And every month or every week you have those milestones. And it's like, okay, am I working towards that? And it's great to have it on paper, but you have to block out your calendar.
Yeah.
And Justin, I know you do a lot of time blocking as
Yeah.
well.
I have to stay organized. Otherwise, it's like, how you feel when you don't have that plan in front of you, or that time blocked day in front of you. It just
Mhm.
feels like chaos because there's so much going on.
Exactly. And then at the end of the week, things aren't done that you wish that you would have had accomplished.
Yeah.
And I think especially if you're busy with a family, or if you work outside of real estate, there's a lot of things that are pulling at you and
Mhm.
distractions that will take away from, you may be working, I think it's working in your business, but you're not working on your business.
Mm.
And unless you do those blocking of, big chunks of time, it's hard to get those things done. So if you think about a buyer's guide or a seller's guide or, just, the market updates, it's hard to get those in because it's not a 5-minute thing.
Right.
Mm.
So you need those big blocks of time.
Absolutely. I'd be lost without time blocking and my schedule being in order. And it's something I struggle with still. I'm not particularly good at it, but I do my best. I get it in front of me for the day and try
Sure.
to stick to it.
And just to drill down on that, I think this is just another thing to deploy as a business owner, a real estate business owner. Family, faith, social life, and work. Faith, even if it's in yourself. So it distracts you. When you are setting aside time to accomplish things, it could be on a whiteboard, your Gmail calendar, your Outlook calendar, a task list, doesn't matter. No matter where it is, the item that I would emphasize today is to make it smart. I was taught this, and she's been pointing at me, so I'll point back at her. I was taught this by Sheila. Make it a smart task or a smart goal. Give it a definitive time frame. Give it a definitive number. I want to contact 4 people by Tuesday or Wednesday. So give it a time frame, give it a number. And when you set aside time to do that, and it's a SMART goal with definitions, you'll get that kind of thing done. Boy, think about it this way. We were talking about this before the podcast started. We all start our mornings with a routine.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up, get dressed, go feed the horses, make a cup of coffee. If it's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, work out. These are things that you set aside time for, and it's definitive. And think about how you feel after you get that done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, to be able to cross it off or say, man, that task is done. And it drives you to the next task. So make them smart.
Yeah. And if you can picture your day, picture a version of you without that time blocking or those SMART goals in front of you, and think about how your day looks and how your week looks. And then think of the version of you with it and how much more progress you would have made on this path where you're
Right.
organized and you've got your goals in front of you.
Can
Yeah,
I add one more thing to
sure.
that? That's the accountability. So if you tell someone, and Mark and I have been doing a lot of this, setting those SMART goals and telling, in my case, me telling Mark, okay, I'm going to do this by this date.
Yes. An actionable step.
Yeah, but I'm accountable now because I've told someone and he's going to hold me accountable. And the next time we chat, he's going to say, hey, because he wrote down my numbers, hey, did you do this? And so, it's good to have someone that you're accountable for. For me, it's not my spouse because he will give me a pass on just about anything I ask.
Of course. He's a smart
He's
man.
a smart man, yes. But you're not going to give me a simple pass. So
Well, I want what's best for you.
Yes.
So does your husband. But I want what's best for you in business. Let's wrap this up this way. The AMP platform has 22 different tools that we train on and coach on and mentor on. That's a lot. So if you don't set aside time for achieving that, things can get chaotic pretty quickly, right? So
Absolutely.
control your schedule.
And this is another opportunity to highlight one of the values of AMP is it's not just the classes or the trainings or the on-site stuff we do or the resources that we have or Circle. It's the community.
mhm.
It's the
Mm.
one-on-one meetings that you guys do a lot of, that all of us do a lot of. It's the community. It's the accountability with our peers.
It's a big family.
It's a big family. And we're going to go ahead and plug AMP. I don't think it's episode 2, and I don't think we plugged AMP or talked about it. So if somebody's listening to the podcast and what is AMP? We have no, Dan might
I
not
don't
know
know what AMP is.
Okay. So Mark, do you want to give a plug for AMP and just kind of give us a summary?
AMP started 32 years ago when I first started my career at Dominion Homes, which is now Pulte. It stands for Agent Mentorship Platform. It's exclusive to Red One. Nothing like it exists elsewhere. I can say that for sure. And it's a coaching platform. It is a team. It is a family. And it's 6 co-leaders. 3 of them are around this table, holding themselves and the team accountable for what it is that you signed up for. We've heard Joe's story and Sheila's story. You've told yours. I've told mine. And we're going to hear a lot more stories from agents. We all got into the business to be of assistance to people. So the agent mentorship platform allows you to learn the skill set, if it doesn't already exist, to be of assistance to people for anything home. That's the best definition of AMP that I can give you. Agent mentorship platform.
Yeah.
Agentmentorshipplatform.com. People can go there.
That's
Mhm.
it. And the AMP platform is not your traditional for the agents out there that might be interested in mentoring and coaching. It's not your typical team structure. It's low fees, it's high support, and it's multi-layered support, almost 24/7 support, classes, in-person training, lots of digital support, lots of one-on-one mentoring. I mean, it really covers all bases of what you could hope for in a coaching platform or in a mentorship platform.
We have a chat bot on our Circle platform. And Joe can attest to this. Sheila can attest to this. You're certainly, we can all three attest to this. If an agent gets on that chat bot and starts typing their question, in less than 30 seconds, they're going to have 3 or 4 of the leaders answering the question.
Absolutely.
You've experienced that
Absolutely,
before.
yes.
So basically 24/7.
Absolutely. So our next segment is the Market Pulse, and that's sponsored by Vault Title. We want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Vault Title. Vault Title for any of your title services. Also, if you're an agent with Red One Realty or an agent outside of Red One Realty, Vault Title does a great job supporting agents by the way of helping them with their geo farming, with their marketing materials, flyers, door hangers, anything like that you
Postcards.
might need. So give them a shout. You can find them at team@vault-title.com, and you can find them at 614-324-2580. Shout out to Vault Title. So let's talk about the agent. This is the agent spotlight, not the Market Pulse. I apologize. The agent spotlight, sponsored by Vault Title, where we're going to pick out a few AMP agents and kind of give them some props and talk about them for a minute. So, Mark, you had an AMP agent you wanted to highlight today.
I do. Sierra Johnson Porter, shout out to you. Sierra's a mom, a wife, has a job at OSU that she loves. And Sierra has been in real estate for about 3 years and has continued to stay engaged with the AMP platform, has certainly practiced that time blocking well. And I just think Sierra's doing a great job. Sierra is a perfect example of the agent who falls into one of 3 categories. She has a life that is extremely important to her, her family, her faith, her social life, and her work outside of real estate. And she has the perfect balance set up that she has settled into a great routine, has become an expert in real estate. And she'll be one of those agents that will assist, 4, 5, 6 folks a year and be very happy to do that. And I'm very proud of Sierra Johnson Porter. So well done, Sierra.
Absolutely. We all enjoy seeing and spending time with Sierra Porter. Joe, you had an AMP agent that you wanted to give some props to or highlight.
Yes. Also a leader, Dana Kitchen. She got me into the business.
Yeah.
But she's a go-getter. She's the social media queen. She's the open
Branding
house
queen.
branding queen, open house queen.
She
I've
is
learned-
the queen.
Yes, she's the queen. I've learned so much from her. She's helped me out with so many things. She's always there to answer questions, and she's killing it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's got a lot of listings, a lot of closings. She's killing it right now.
And you guys have been friends for a long time too, right?
Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah.
We've been friends, and she would do anything for anybody, and I love to see her success right now. I'm so
That's
happy for
great.
her.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. I agree with all those points you just said.
Good pick.
Shout out to Dana. Sheila, you had an AMP agent that you wanted to chat about and highlight.
Yeah. So Kelly Goodman. So Kelly has recently moved into the area, so she didn't really have a strong sphere that she could lean on, but she has really, she has stepped outside of her comfort zone.
Yeah.
She attends the trainings. She is interactive in the trainings. And she is, like I said, she's putting herself out there. She is really, truly engaged. I think the first time I met her was at the Canva workshop that Dana Kitchen and I put together.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she was there. She was making progress on her assets. Like she is like really into it. So love to see. I can't wait to see where she goes in the next couple of years. I know she's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, go Kelly and go Canada. Kelly's from Canada, for those of you that don't know that. And having moved here, different country and starting a real estate business, she's a great pick.
Yeah,
Good
she's
for
one
her.
that does a great job with networking too, right? She does lots of events, and
Yes.
Yeah.
her and her husband, I believe, have a side business where
Sean.
they sell goods, and that's a great way to network.
They're also
Especially
into auto racing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, drag racing.
Really?
NHRA.
Why didn't I know that? I'm gonna next time I have a Zoom with her, I'm gonna ask her about that.
You guys will be zooming all over the place. My agent spotlight, I wanted to give a shout out to Khadijah Ghazali. Khadijah joined AMP, I think, within the last year or so,
Mhm.
and she's one of those people that just goes out there and gets it, like Dana, like Sierra, like Kelly that we've previously talked about. I was just on the phone with Khadijah yesterday, and every time I talk to her, it's a question about something specific, but it's, hey, I've got this closing coming up and this is happening. Hey, I just got this house in contract and this is happening. How do I do this? So shout out to Khadijah. We always appreciate you. She's always a good time, brings good energy to the room. So Khadijah, Sierra, Dana, and Kelly, props to you guys. And thank you for being
Well done,
part of the AMP
guys.
team.
Good on you.
All right. Next, our segment number 3 is Ask the Coach. So these are questions that have come up recently in our AMP trainings and our AMP one-on-one Zooms and our conversations with AMP agents. And Sheila, I'm going to start with you. You had a question come up, a topic recently with an AMP agent, and you wanted to talk about things to look for when you're showing a home. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So when you think about, your first time that you're showing a house, especially, you want to do well, but that's one of those things that they don't really train you when you take the test.
Yes.
And so when you walk into a house, like what should you look for? And so one of the things is, of course, you kind of make sure that you've got your buyer representation agreement before you let them in the house, right?
That's good.
That's number one.
That's
It is the
number
law.
one. Before you even get inside.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then, you open the door and they're the family that you're working with, your whomever you're working with, your buyers, they're going to be able to assess whether or not the floor plan works for them. If it feels like someplace they could call home, but they're not going to know necessarily about furnace. So some of the people that I've worked with have, but they might not know about the mechanical things.
Right.
They might not know to look for water intrusion or mold or termites and all of these other things that come into play.
The real estate value related stuff is what you bring to the table.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
So many times it's like, okay, I ask them to like look at it with me so that they can see what I'm seeing. And it does help, kind of build that, their view of you being the expert,
Absolutely.
because they might not know, like I said, to even look for it. So that is an important piece that we bring to the table. Again, I can't tell them whether or not that bedroom's big enough for them or
Right.
the closet, but they can quickly assess that, but they're not necessarily looking for those things that can be very expensive. And I also always make sure that I walk the house, the exterior of the house
Right.
with them, and point out things like drainage issues, a roof. There's just a whole list of things,
What are the red flags
yeah.
to look for? Yeah.
And sagging gutters and all those little things that, you might not see if you're not looking specifically for. So that's one of the things I encourage new agents to do, and to go with an experienced agent to walk a couple houses.
Yeah. You just triggered a flashback for me for the very first house I ever showed as an agent, how awkward and quiet that I was.
Mhm.
I can picture it right now. And the feedback from, I was showing a house for my broker at that time. And the feedback to her was that I was quiet and I didn't say a lot when I was there from the clients.
Yeah.
And I just remember being in that situation and not knowing what to point out or not knowing what to talk about. And then I compare that with today. And like you said, I'm letting them assess their opinion of how the home is going to fit them, family wise, and how it flows, the floor plan, all that stuff. And I'm pointing out the red flag type stuff
Yeah.
that I'm seeing from my experience.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the contrast in those two versions of
Yeah.
me as an agent. And
You bring
And that was prior to AMP, wasn't it?
it was. And you bring up a good point. That one of the values of AMP is that you've got all these opportunities to walk houses and do
Mhm.
showings with experienced agents
Yep.
and avoid some of those pitfalls that you might experience as a new agent with no guidance or mentorship.
Yeah. That's one of the things we've put in Circle, our platform, is we put opportunities for other agents to shadow us, which I think is an important piece.
It's a huge value to be able to go on a showing with an experienced agent, like anybody here at the table and see how they do things.
Mhm.
Every time I go on an appointment with anybody in AMP, I learn something, and I've been in the business for 7 going on 8 years. So
Absolutely.
it's a great resource.
Your buying client is going to pull up every day and love the home or not. Your responsibility is to provide the real estate value input. They love it. I'm not going to love a client's home. I love my home, 4837 Blue Church Road. But if they love it, that's the one we want to get for them. That's
Joe,
well captioned.
do you remember your first showing?
I do.
How did that go?
Well, so actually, I'm gonna plug Dana again.
Okay, that's all right.
She took me on a showing,
Yeah.
and she went through all of the steps, and that really got me confident. So when I actually did do my first showing, my clients had no idea that they were my first clients. That was the first house. They just assumed I'd been doing this for years, and they were very comfortable knowing that I had all of this experience showing them that house.
Sure.
Pointed out some things to
Mhm.
them, and maybe it was good or bad, and they were very thankful, and
Sure.
and with AMP and Dana showing me how to do that, I just felt very comfortable doing it.
Mhm.
It wasn't scary at all.
It was the opposite of me at my first showing.
Exactly.
Being like, I
Right.
don't know.
Yes.
What
Yes.
do I say?
Did you sound like that?
Probably. I probably did.
Okay.
And that's funny. I came from a hospitality industry where I was bartending, managing restaurants, seeing strangers face to face every day. But put into that scenario, I was nervous, and I didn't expect to be nervous
Mhm.
at that time. So
You've got a fiduciary responsibility to your clients, and you wanted to fulfill that. So it
Absolutely.
would make sense that would make you nervous.
absolutely. All right. Ask the coach, Joe. We had this conversation recently. You had
Right.
talked about CMA versus RPR. Could
Mhm.
you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So I had some clients. They were talking about selling their home. I had run a CMA with Mark on it and got a certain value on it.
That stands for comparative market analysis.
Yes. And we came up with something in the 420s ish. But if you looked in RPR, it had a much higher value in the 470s, 480s. And, so my question to you was, how is that? How are those differences? How do they come up with those differences? And how to be comfortable and confident with what you're telling your clients of what their house is worth.
Yeah.
So that was my question to you, my most recent one. I
Yeah.
know there's been more, but
Well,
I
with
was just thinking about that.
With the CMA and the RPR, so the CMA, we're picking the comps for that. The RPR is kind of an automated system that really does a lot of that stuff on its own. Whenever I'm running comps, I tend to kind of consult all three. And I'm going to say the evil Z word.
Yeah.
I will go to
Mhm.
Zillow just to see what the Zestimate says. It's not always accurate, but I will go there and take a look at that. Then I'll typically jump to the MLS and I'll put that CMA, that comparative market analysis, together. Then I'll also go to RPR and see what RPR thinks. It's almost like an extra opinion
Mhm.
Yep.
on the value. So I don't know if that's how you guys
I
feel
do
about it as
exactly
well.
the same. And then in RPR, if you go in and you want to tweak that, you can pick other comps and you can see which ones they used as a comp, which is great because then you can look at that and say, well, should have I brought that in? And many times it's like, yeah, no, there's a reason why I didn't use that when I created my CMA.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then also that percentage confidence or the stars on there. That's always a good thing to look at because sometimes it's a 3 and it's like, okay, I'm throwing that one out.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The RVM rating, I think, is what that's called.
Yes. Yep.
The star category. Mark, any thoughts on CMA and RPR?
No, but I can transition into something else.
Okay.
This is Ask the Coach, right?
It is.
I get a lot of questions, especially from newer agents, as it relates to getting started. And with any business, no matter how long you've been working towards it or how new you are at it, you need to have a vision. So I get a lot of questions about, well, what does that mean? What are you talking about? My vision in business. And in our business, your vision is, okay, I know my skill set. I know my level of experience and expertise. Oftentimes I put it to them this way. You're with Red One. You know where you've come from. You've got family, faith, social life, and work, sometimes outside of real estate. What is your vision? And usually we drill it down to this. What is a reasonable amount of gross commissions for you to earn? In this example, be for the balance of 2025. If you don't start with a vision, something that you put on paper, I have, and Sheila can tell you this, Joe can attest this, so can you. Let's put it in 3 places. Have one at your home office, carry one with you, and put one on the fridge. But start with a vision. I get a lot of that. What does it mean? Why is that important? It's really tough to be successful in business without a vision for what it is that you wish to achieve. So make it smart. For 2025, the balance of my intention is to earn this much in gross commissions. A vision in business is critical, and I get asked about that a lot.
Well, the vision is also one of those key aspects of your business planning session,
Mhm.
which is free to any agents that want to come and sit with Mark and develop their business planning session. The vision is one of those things you drill on and go over, and they when they leave that business planning session, they're going to have their goals, they're going to have their vision sheet, and there's a third aspect of that as well.
We're going to talk about their vision. What's their plan? So you have this vision. What are you going to do to achieve that? And then time blocking. We're going to set aside time in your life to achieve that. It's 3 steps. It sounds simple, but again, life is complicated. So we'd be glad to do that with any agent, experienced or not.
Yeah. So if you're an agent listening to this, if you're with Red One or not with Red One, it doesn't matter. Get a hold of us. Mark, what's your contact information if they'd like to set up a business planning session?
Mark D'Andrea, the doctor, real estate with Red One Realty, 614-395-6275. You can text or call me anytime.
Awesome. All right, guys, that's going to move us into our next segment, which is the Market Pulse, and that's sponsored by Red One Realty. If you're watching this out there, Red One Realty is a locally owned and operated brokerage here in Central Ohio, formed in 2019. Already up to over 900 agents nationally here in Central Ohio. I think we have about 850. Red One Realty is all about low cost, high support, and a family-oriented feel at our brokerage. So reach out and chat with any of us AMP leaders about Red One Realty. Even if you're at Honduras taking classes, or if you're an agent that's experienced, been in the business for a while, and maybe you're tired of paying high fees and high monthly cost for the low support you're getting, come take a tour of the office and have a look at Red One Realty. We promise that you won't be disappointed.
921 East Wind Drive, Suite 102. You can't miss the building. It's all off of 270. It's all the black windows with a red stripe. Can't miss it.
All right, our Market Pulse, sponsored by Red One Realty. Interest rates today are, Mark, do you want to take interest rates? I don't remember what order we talked about this in, but
doesn't matter. Interest rates are around 6.8.
6.81 today.
The interesting part about that, so we don't focus on 6.8. And look, interest rates about a year and 6 months ago were approaching 9. I mean, they're down nearly 2 percentage points. And you and I both, everybody around the table knows this. Interest rates are not a main driver of our market. But right now they're at 6.8. And I've got lenders that can get you into a home for between 5.9 and 6.4. So interest rates are at 6.8 on average.
Dan, as a non-real estate industry individual, do you ever look at what interest rates are or track that kind of stuff? Has it ever come across your mind? Or
Only when I was buying my home. So no, not right now.
Awesome.
When did you buy your house?
About 3 years ago now.
Okay.
So it was right before it really jumped.
Started to go up a
So
little bit.
So your interest rate's in the threes somewhere.
I got a 4.75.
Okay, that's not bad. That's
So,
still not bad.
But yeah, it's I'm glad it's not a 9.
Yeah, right.
But no, I don't check it. I don't ever go. I used to just live on Zillow and Realtor.com and all those buzzwords that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. But yeah, not something I am clued in on.
Well, Dan, we're going to have to get you your annual real estate review for an updated market value for your house and to let you know what your local market's doing. It's a service we do for our clients, so
For free.
we're going to set you up with that.
Love it.
Sheila, you want to talk about inventory? Inventory seems to be up a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly is. So for the Columbus market, it's 4,024, which is definitely up. It's been going up. It has increased almost 6% in just a week.
That's a big jump.
Mhm.
And the last time we had talked about it before last week, it had jumped from 3,500 up to about 3,700. So inventory is certainly on the rise. It's springtime, right? A lot of people, this is the prime time for people to list their homes in the market. Mark doesn't. The seasons are not a driver of the market, but it is true that there do tend to be a surplus of listings around this time of year.
Sure.
And some of the markets that I work in are actually balanced now,
Yeah.
which we haven't seen for quite a while.
What market specifically would you describe as being balanced?
Johnstown was the first one I saw go into balanced, and Newark and Heath are getting, well, Newark especially, they're getting close.
Interesting.
And define what you mean by balance for those that are listening.
About 4 to 6 months worth of inventory.
There you go.
So if no additional homes came on the market, it would take 4 to 6 months to sell at the rate that homes are selling.
Gotcha.
And Justin stopped me before, and I don't blame you for doing
I
that.
I saw your wheels starting to turn.
But Daniel said it earlier. In the fall of 2023, interest rates were approaching 9%. For the previous months in 2023, the average number of homes on the market month over month was about 2,400, and it jumped to about 3,300 in September, November, October of 2023. When interest rates were approaching 9, folks were putting their houses on the market. All of those houses absorbed. All of those buyers have refinanced. Interest rates and inventory are not the main drivers, but it's fun to know about them.
Absolutely. And it's good for us to know that so that when we're at a party or we're at an event, and those conversations pop up, we can throw out those tidbits, establish ourselves as the expert, collect the contact information of the person asking, and then follow up with them to see how we can help them with anything.
Absolutely. Daniel doesn't know it, but he's already a client.
Yeah, he's
You guys have set your hooks. I can tell.
all right, Joe. Days on market. Do you want to talk about days on market?
Sure. In the suburbs, we're looking at 14 days on market. And then rural, we're looking at 36. So things are moving.
Yeah. So that's the days on market is defined as when a house gets listed from that point to when it goes into contract, not close, but
Correct.
it goes into contract.
Yes.
14.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, or less, right? And depending on the neighborhood, and
Yes.
it really, it's neighborhood dependent, big time. That number
is.
is.
It is.
And that's still a healthy, quick amount. That's getting things into contract pretty quickly still,
Sure.
even with what some people would call higher interest rates and inventory is a little bit up. So guys, that's the Market Pulse sponsored by Red One Realty. Our sponsor, we are very appreciative of them. And we're going to move into our next segment, which is Mindset Matters. And in this segment, we talk about practical advice, inspirational quotes or stories, advice on maintaining work-life balance, any of those little tips and tricks, something to get you in the right mindset to make sure you are working efficiently and serving your clients. So, Joe,
Yeah.
you had mentioned, and we've talked about it a little bit already, but staying visible on social media, staying top of mind. So did you want to drill down on that?
Yeah. So aside from sending messages out to people, I set up every day a post that comes out same time every day. And I do that for a week. So I get on, I plan out the week, I create all of my social media posts. They come out at 10 o'clock every day. on Joe Wood Realtor page on Facebook. And then right after that pops up, I go ahead and share it to my Joe Wood Facebook page. And that gets a lot of interest. People see that and comment on it. A lot of people will call, "Hey, I saw what you posted today. That's really cool," or send me a direct message. And I love that it keeps me going, because the more that happens, the more people reach out, and makes me feel good when people are seeing it, and it justifies all the work that I put into that.
Sure.
I do the same thing. And you know what I like about it is when I open Facebook that next day and it posts automatically and I see it for the first time,
Yeah.
it's like I didn't even do it.
Right.
It's just, I don't know, it's gratifying or
It is,
satisfying to see it.
3-4 days later, you set it up and then it pops up like,
You're like, oh yeah.
that was a good one.
And I've been seeing your social media presence lately, and I'm loving, you've kind of revamped your design on your posts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And they're really captivating, and they catch my eye when I scroll past them. I always show you a like.
Yes, thank you.
And a lot of times, people might not interact with the post or whatever, but like you said, you'll have a conversation with them on the phone later on, or see them somewhere, and they'll say, "Man, I've been seeing you all over Facebook."
Absolutely. I had a guy message me. We had never conversed about real estate at all. He looks at my messages and doesn't respond. I know he sees them. And then one day, "Hey, we're looking at listing and buying, and your name popped up. I always see all the stuff that you do. So I'd like you to help me out." So that really makes me feel good that people are seeing it. It's out there every day. It gets a lot of views, a lot of likes, several comments, and lots of messages.
Love it.
That's awesome. Sheila, what you wanted to discuss for the Mindset Matters segment is seeing your success. So could you talk a little bit more about what that means to you?
Yes. So you have to believe it. And let's say that there's someone that you admire and they've done something, then you're like, wow, I wish I could do that. Well, visualize yourself doing that, because once you have to see yourself being able to do that in order to kind of get the buy-in emotionally to get there, so that's what I was thinking. But can I add one other thing on there for mindset? Because as we were talking this morning.
Why are you asking? Because you're going to.
Well, that's true.
Right? Go ahead. No one's going to say no to you.
Right. Okay, so Mark was sharing about his coffee cup this morning. And it's funny because we all kind of have the same thing, and that, my coffee cups at home are not matched. They're random. And so every morning when I grab the coffee cup, whichever one, out of my cupboard, and I make my first cup of coffee, it reminds me of something that's special to me. And I just hit pause for that second and just, while the coffee's brewing, and just give thanks and be appreciative and gratitude for whatever it is that's attached to that cup. And so for me, it's a great way to start out the day with a positive attitude. Because if you start out cranky, the rest of the day is
go downhill.
Yeah.
So you've described seeing your success as a version of positive affirmations, and the gratitude for whatever emotion or event that coffee cup is related to.
Yep.
And that's part of my morning routine as well. The gratitudes and affirmations, like you said, it's a great way to start the day on a positive foot. And I know it sounds a little woo-woo, but that mindset stuff really, your thoughts are powerful. And
They are.
when they're positive, you're going to be in a good vibration and be on pace to hit your goals. And when they're not, you're going to have excuses and all the negative stuff that comes along with it. So
Exactly.
Everybody has set this up perfectly. And it wasn't purposeful. We did not plan this. I promise we did not plan this. Mindset matters. This is applicable to everything that Sheila has mentioned, Joe has mentioned, that you've mentioned. It's definitely applicable to all the actions we take as real estate business owners. And we talk about this a lot, especially with newer agents. So here's your mindset. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. So let that sit with you for a minute. And when I first say that to newer agents, I know what the wheels are turning in their brain. They're thinking, well, Mark, I don't lie to people. I'm not talking about other people. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie to yourself. You're going to set a SMART goal. If you're going to post something, if you're going to admire someone and see something they're doing and then want that in your life. All of these things are related to telling the truth, or at least not lying to yourself. So if you set a goal, if you make a post, if you want to affirm something, your brain's going to know right away if it's a lie. And that'll be tough to overcome. So if you're setting up a goal, if you're making a SMART goal, if you're setting up your business plan, if you're setting up your vision sheet, guys, tell the truth, or at least don't lie to yourself. Make it something that you're absolutely going to metaphysically take action on. That's a mindset.
I love that. And my Mindset Matters topic is, we've talked a lot about morning routines. I wanted to talk about evening routine for a quick second. I found that it's extremely beneficial for me if I can make the time for it, and it's on my daily task list. So I always try to make the time for it, to sit down at the end of the day, once everybody's kind of settled down and the business is the dust has settled, and just kind of look at what's on the plate for tomorrow and just kind of mentally prepare yourself for that. What are the important tasks you want to try to achieve? What's on the calendar for tomorrow? And that way you're not waking up and letting the day drive you, you're driving the day. So I like the morning routine. I think it's as important as the evening routine. I think it's as important as the morning routine in some cases. So
Yep.
I can't say that I always stick to that, because sometimes you just have those days where you're just done and you sit down on the couch, you end up falling asleep, and then you wake up at 3 a.m. and go to the bed, and you don't have the chance to do your evening recap. But I find that when I have the opportunity to get those in, that my next day is always more productive.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself rewarding yourself by looking back over your day and saying, hey, I got that done. I got that done.
I do actually. In
That's
the planner that I
it's a
use,
good thing.
the planner that I use has a little section there where you write down your wins for the day.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's always good. And it feels good when, even when you don't feel like you got much done, when you look back and start to analyze it, you're like, oh, wow, actually I sent out 5 DMs today.
Right.
I auto set my Facebook post for the week, or
Whatever it is.
I had 3 great conversations today with potential clients.
Yep. I think those are the things that get lost in the shuffle so many times.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
We tend to beat ourselves up, and we need to stop that.
We do. All right, guys, we want to shout out our one of our sponsors here, Right Way Roofing, locally owned and operated roofing company here in Central Ohio. Built their business on being honest, being professional, and getting things done the right way. Shout out to Right Way Roofing, friend of the AMP platform and the AMP podcast, Brian Moore. So if you want to get in contact with Right Way Roofing, you can reach them at 614-957-5033. Anything roofing. If you want to get an estimate or you need your gutters replaced, they do siding, they do windows, they do it all. So shout out to Right Way Roofing.
Brian is dealing with one of my clients right now and doing a great job.
Yeah, he's done 2 for me in the past 3 months, I think. So we're right about at an hour, guys. We filled up an hour pretty quickly.
Great.
I really appreciate Joe, you and Sheila being here today, and you,
Absolutely.
Mark, of course. I hope you guys had fun.
Had a
Just-
blast.
Mark, if you could, a quick recap. I'll go ahead and start it, and you can dovetail in. But guys, the agent mentorship platform at Red One Realty is designed to help agents grow and sustain their real estate business year after year. And Mark's probably going to give you some statistics on what that looks like here in a second. But it's easy to get in contact with us. Whether you're an experienced agent or brand new, and you're looking for mentorship or support or accountability or any of the things we discussed today, we are more than happy to talk with you and chat with you and see how we can help your business grow. Low cost, high support. We help a lot of agents. We have over 113 agents on the agent mentorship platform right now, and we're talking to new agents every single day and seeing who we can help that's out there. So if you're watching this and you feel like you need some of that support, feel free to get in contact with us.
We meet on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month at 6 p.m. That's Zoomed. It's also in our training center, so if you can be there in person, great. If not, you can Zoom in. And we record that, and it's in our archive. So if you missed the meeting, you can always check it out there. 4 Tuesdays a month, each of the other co-leaders will lead a class. So that's 2 Thursdays, 4 Tuesdays, a Saturday morning from 10 to noon, sometimes in the training room in Westerville, and many times out in the field. We went out in the field a couple Saturdays ago. And then you have an opportunity to schedule one-on-one coaching sessions with 3 different co-leaders. And that will give you some, down and dirty stuff that's person to person. So we have many ways to disseminate the information. Statistically, a first-year AMP agent, new agent to the business, will do about $1.3 million in sales. Second year, they'll, on average, grow that by 153%. So that'd be 3 to 8. And then the third year, about 43% on average. So we do have a track record of helping new agents market, grow, sustain, and maintain their business. We're very proud of that. We'd love to have you join us on AMP.
Real quickly before we hop off, I understand that you had a very interesting role-playing session at our latest on-site training that we had a couple Saturdays ago.
Yes.
Where you acted as the listing agent.
Correct.
And Joe and Rich Tilley acted as
the sales couple.
As the sales couple that,
Yeah.
that was wanting to sell their house. How did that conversation go? And was it as much fun as I'm imagining it was?
It was great. We were in a sales model. Shout out to Fisher Homes and Sean Doan. And we do that quite often, guys. We'll schedule a time with a new builder where they'll make a model home available to us. It allows us to train on not only touring homes, which Sheila brought up earlier, but also on listing homes. And then we'll go out on site and look at houses under construction, and we'll teach all the agents how a house comes together, because new builds is a big part of our business. So that listing appointment went great. Joe and Rich were both outstanding role players. When you're role playing, that's improvisation. So it's normally yes and, right? You don't want to stop the process. But Joe did try to stop it a couple of times, and we overcame that. He was certainly the driver of that couple. So it was a blast. We had a great time. There were probably 12 or 14 people there learning about it. So it was a good time.
So Joe, 2 questions. One, as playing that part as the seller, would you have chosen Mark to list your house after that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a realtor myself, but I was ready to have him sell my house.
And my other question, did you pick anything up or learn anything while you were having that conversation with him that you might use in your next listing consultation?
Oh, absolutely. Every time we get together for a training, I always grab some kind of information out of it to use in my business. So it was absolutely informative and helpful.
Justin, we've had agents that joined the platform. The first agent joined on December 16th of 2020 at 10:43 a.m. because everything's time stamped. That particular agent, Michelle Shriver, is still on the team. Agents don't tend to leave the team because there's just too much value and support there for very little money.
Absolutely.
Because we're not in it for the money. We're in it to be of assistance to agents. And I mean that.
That's it. That's a great spot to end it on. We're going to go around the table one more time and give our contact information. Mark, where can the people find you if they want to get in contact with you?
Yep. Mark D'Andrea, the Doctor of Real Estate with Red One Realty, 614-395-6275. And my email is drofrealestate1@gmail.com. And you can always stop in the office. I'm there Monday through Friday.
All right. Sheila Howell. And my phone number is 740-809-2433. And my email is sheila@realtorsheilahowell.com.
Joe Wood, Homes by Woody, joewoodrealtor@gmail.com, and 614-886-1000 is my phone number.
Sounds like a radio commercial.
He does.
And I'm Justin Humphreys with Humphreys Homes. You can find me at Humphreys Homes on Facebook. My number is 740-275-1277. Episode 2 of season 2, The Swing of Things on the AMP podcast, is officially at an end. Thank you guys for being here. It was a great time. I hope you had fun.
Glad to be
Thank you.
And thanks to you, Dan.
Thanks,
Yes,
Daniel.
thanks.
You did great.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.